Coach Lance here with CFSJ's Inside the Box. Whether you have tight times or tight spaces, we've got you covered. What you're about to follow along with is a 1-hour class shrunk into a 10-minute video. How do we do it? We create pause points, we write out equipment lists, and we give you substitution options to where there is zero thought on your part. So whether you have a hotel room, a hotel gym, or you're lucky enough to be outside, we're going to give you that great CFSJ feel when you're not at CFSJ. So let's take a look at the equipment list. Most of the times fairly minimal, and a lot of times you can substitute these things for things you have around your house, whether it be a water bottle or a filled up backpack. So let's go ahead and grab your phone, let's check out this equipment list, and let's get going. Every class, we're going to start off with 2 minutes of cardio. Now, if you're lucky enough to have a bike or a rower or a treadmill or the outside, let's go ahead and do 2 minutes of rowing or jogging or biking. If you don't have that, then let's start off with some jumping jacks, some step back burpees, some double unders, or some other method of your choice that you can do in the tight space that you're in. If you need a suggestion, let's go ahead and do step back burpees. The thing I love most about step back burpees is they hit everything at once. So instead of making this a dynamic, we're going to make this a very slow, grindy kind of movement, stepping back, engaging that plank on the way forward, driving those hips open, getting that nice hinge and that hamstring stretch, and working the plank and the push-up. By the time you've done about 15 of these, everything is ready. Now again, it's your choice, so let's go ahead and start those 2 minutes now. Now that we're done with that cardio, let's move on to the dynamic warm-up. Today we're going to focus on 4 main movements: the inchworm, the bootstrap, the pigeon pose, and the scorpion. Torso and hips is definitely our focus for today. Starting off with 10 inchworms with a push-up. Let's make sure that we're giving enough love to those hamstrings. If they're a little bit tight, go ahead and bend the knees in these first few reps, trying to get a straightforward fold by rep 10. Let's not skimp on the push-up either. Try to maintain a plank at least down, if not up. Don't forget, if you have to go to your knees during this, you totally can. Let's go for 10. Next, we've got 10 bootstraps. Sinking into the bottom of a squat, pushing those elbows into the knees. Let's go ahead and grab those toes, and again, working the hamstrings in the back, lift the butt up to the sky. Pulling yourself down a little farther with the chest a little prouder in each rep. Let's go ahead and give me 10. Next, we're going to go on to 10 pigeon pose. Starting from that plank position, pushing that heel up to the sky before driving the knee between the elbows. Turning the shin parallel to the chest, a quick drop to the hips, lifting the chest, holding for maybe a second. Go ahead and give me 10. And last, we're going to go ahead face down, arms extended, no twisted cross today. We're going to go 10 scorpions. Let's keep those arms long. Let's prioritize by keeping the chest on the ground as we reach alternate foot to hand. 10 alternating. Now, as always, if there's something that you need a little bit more, maybe something that you pulled from an earlier day, let's go ahead and take some time and get it done. Go ahead and pause here, and I'll see you at the next section. Today's activation is all about core stability and shoulder stability. We're going to start off face down with 10 alternating prone swimmers. Let's go ahead, don't confuse this with a Superman. We're not going to pull the quads or the chest off today. Keeping the face down, head touching the floor, you're going to start with your right hand ahead of your head and your left hand behind your back, pulling the shoulder blades together, sweeping the ground without touching the floor, alternating position, 5 each way. Next, let's go into a kneeling position. With the right knee forward and the left knee back, make sure that the right foot is under the right knee. You're going to go ahead in the opposite hand, and you're going to give me 5 press on the right. The heavier the object, the more the core is going to need to stabilize, the more you're going to feel it in those side muscles called the obliques. For our next movement, the half kneeling windmill, we're going to go ahead and switch hands. So the knee that is forward is the hand with the weight in it. Stabilizing, looking at the weight as you drop the free hand down to the ground, reaching towards your knee. If it feels a lot like a Turkish get-up, it's because this is the middle movement. Get better at this, and you'll get better at your Turkish get-up too. Now, as always, we've got 2 rounds of this. Take your time. There's no time constraint on this. Go ahead and pause or look back at Devin's videos, and I'll see you at the strength. Today's strength is an all lower body day. We've got a lot of single leg, single arm stuff, so we're really going to challenge both core stability and try to create some symmetry between the right and the left hand side. We're going to start off with single leg box jumps. Don't get greedy on this one. A very small box or implement to jump on is going to be more than enough. Just like you would do a kettlebell swing or a regular box jump, except for we're starting off with like a very intentional balance in that right foot. It's still a hip dominant exercise, so extension of the hip, land on the foot. Don't over challenge yourself. If a plate is all you've got today, let a plate be it. Next, we're going to go goblet good mornings. Again, one of those activities where a little bit of weight will go a long way. In the goblet position, up on the chest with the shoulder blades back, widening the feet out to just under the hips, hinging back, you're going to feel that weight try to pull you off position. Let the hamstrings be the guide on the way up. 10 to 15 of these will suffice. And next, we're going to go single arm front squats. In that front rack position with the shoulder blade drawn back, the weight should be light enough that you should be able to get some speed on these. Don't let the chest drift forward. Now, we've got 3 rounds of this every 4 minutes. This is quite a bit of volume, so don't expect a lot of rest time. Just mentally prepare yourself that you've got 12 minutes of hard work. Let's get it done. Now is the time to set your timer. We have a 4-minute bout coming up, and we'll see you back at the WOD. Let's talk about that Metcon. Today's WOD frontline is a 16-minute AMRAP that's going to challenge our cardio a little more than normal. With 3 movements of the box jump, the dumbbell snatch, and the overhead carry, we have a challenge both to intensity and to core strength. Let's go ahead and look at the box jump. Notice, with Coach Devin, this is a hip extension movement. No different than a kettlebell swing would be or a clean. Don't over challenge it. Extending the hips and getting off the ground is the primary focus. Next, we're going to go into dumbbell snatches. These are single arm, starting from the hang, down around the knee, extending through the hips, driving the elbow up, quick turnover, stabilize through the shoulder before bringing down and switching sides. And lastly, the contrast to all that high intensity is a 100-foot single overhead dumbbell carry. Switching about the midway point or as needed, but what you're going to try to do is push all the way through this without putting the bell totally down. Now again, this is a 16-minute AMRAP, 8 box jumps, 16 dumbbell snatch, and the 100-foot overhead carry. The intention for a workout like today is to push really, really, really hard on the box jumps, try to maintain some consistency on the dumbbell snatches, and allow your cardiovascular to come down while doing the overhead carry. You're going to try not to put the overhead carry down, but it probably won't be a possibility in those later minutes of this 16-minute AMRAP. Now, let's go ahead and get our playlist set a timer for 16 minutes counting down, and let's begin in 3, 2, 1, go.